Our talk today, inshallah, is about seeking lawful income with work and productivity. The divine guidance of Islam commanded and inspired people to seek work and income with vigor and resolve through lawful means, and warning and discouraging unemployment, laziness, and not having a profession, not having a skill. Divine guidance of Allah that gave no excuse to those who are ideals, those who are not active, not energetic, seeking income, seeking a living, to stay behind, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His wisdom provide the ability and the avenues to seek income and blessed profits, regarding how modest the ability or the skill and the talent is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mulk, what can be translated, it is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, who has made the earth subservient unto you. So walk in the paths thereof and eat of His sustenance which He furnished. Allah also said in Surah Al-Jum'ah, and when the prayer is finished, referring to the Jum'ah prayer, when the prayer is finished, then you may dispense through the land and seek of Allah's bounty and celebrate the praise of Allah often, that you may prosper. Divine guidance, which place seeking work and lawful income with fulfilling obligatory obedience, a must for success in this life and the hereafter. It is not just worship, it's also seeking work, seeking income, being independent. And many verses in the Quran lead and emphasize and command work and productivity. In this life, he who work and enjoy the bounties of a lawful income, peace of mind, and what earth provide of goodness. In the hereafter, he enjoy everything that he enjoyed on earth without any hardship, difficulty, or competition with anyone. And that meaning is very clear when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what can be translated, say, who has forbidden? Who has forbidden? And before I continue the verse, there is a misleading idea that Islam discourages riches, that Islam discourages for you to be honorable and to have goodness of this life. And that verse, a clear indication of the right guidance of Allah and His Prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, what can be translated, say, who has forbidden the beautiful gifts of Allah, which He has provided for His servants, and the things clean and pure, which He has provided for His substance. All of us. Say, O Muhammad, he was talking to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Say, they are in this life of this world for those who believe. All these good things on earth, that earth provide, for those who believe, and purity for them on the day of judgment. It's not just here, inshallah, also it will be in the hereafter. My dear brothers and sisters, from these verses and others, we conclude that work, profession, and energy in seeking work among the vital command of the divine guidance to earn a living and provide honorable life for self and family. And for these commands to settle in the heart of those who ponder the Quran and the Sunnah, we find all prophets that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to them wisdom and verses. All prophets are the best example of the guidance for all of us. As they give up on earthly glitters, all prophets give up on earthly glitter and enjoyment in life, but in the same time, they pursue with energy honorable and lawful income. In a correct hadith, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, there is nothing better than food that was eaten or consumed because of own hard work. There is nothing better than food that was consumed by own hard work. Then the Prophet added, the Prophet Dawood, may God be pleased with him, earn income from work of his hands. Also, Muslim narrated that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the Prophet Zechariah was a carpenter. The Prophet Idris, peace be upon him, was a tailor who always gave the best of his profit for charity. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a merchant who bought and sold, as well as Abu Bakr, may God be pleased with him, until he became a Khalif. They all were engaged in work and earning an honorable living. The honorable companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, practiced many professions as they bought and sold, seeking lawful income from far and near, and were guiding with the command of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, when he was asked in Hadith Ahmad and Al-Musnad, that the Prophet was asked, what is the best of earning? What is the best of making money in simple language? What is the best way? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, responded, a man working with his own hand. A man who is working with his own hand. And every transaction that is free of deception. Any transaction that's free of sham or lie or misleading or fraudulent. Any kind of work that it is pure and clean. After the passing of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Umar, may God be pleased with him, Umar ibn al-Khattab, commanded people saying, learn a skill that one of you may need to earn a living. And he was talking to the government workers and those who actually get assistance from the government at the time. Omar is saying, if hard times struck and the bounties of the governments dried out, you need to earn and you need to develop a skill and to develop a skill that you might need when this hard time develop, and to make a living and a comfortable living, inshallah. My dear brothers and sisters, divine guidance of Islam point out that any profession would be respected and honored as it provide honorable living, even if it was modest. Any profession will be honorable because it will provide honorable living. Modest profession is better than being without a job and waiting for a handout of those who have the money, or asking for help and support. In hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, it is narrated that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said to his companion, this is the word of the Prophet, for any of you to take his rope and go to the mountain, gather a bundle of wood and sell it to sustain himself, is better than asking people for handout. They either give you or they either denies you. Any humble job will make you honorable earning a living. With the same guidance, Umar ibn al-Khattab, may God be pleased with him, the statesman who actually put the guidance for how a government will work and how the Islamic governing will be. He said, to earn a living from a modest job is better than asking people for handouts. Regardless how modest a job is, it is better than asking people as they might give him and he carry the burden of asking and the burden of the favor, or they might deny him and he would carry the burden of both the disgrace of having to ask and the disgrace of being let down. It was also reported that Luqman said to his son in advice, in command, in support, he said, my son, be independent with lawful earning, as whoever becomes poor suffer one of three characters: weakness of conviction, fragility of his mind, or lack of goodness. And the worst of all, that people will actually not value him. He would lose his value. When you are productive, when you are self-sustained, people look at you. When you are not, it's a whole different story. My dear brothers and sisters, directing our talk to the new immigrant to this beautiful country, we say, you face big challenges adjusting to the new environment, and to have a safe and comfortable living. It is essential, it is imperative for you to be a positive influence in the economy and the fabric society and the fabric of this society. for all the new immigrants, you have to be an influence in the economical state where you live and part of the society, not to isolate yourself, not to congregate yourself away. We are in the best country on earth. There is no excuse whatsoever. A state which will not materialize until you become an independent from government assistance, hold a job, and earn a living from lawful avenues. Know that this is the honor of the wise Muslim, following the command of Allah and His Prophet, as the honorable and the wise Muslim will not accept to be a burden on a society with no value or no contribution. Omar, may God be pleased with him again, the statesman, put the rules, put the guidance for how a country can actually work and how a society will be successful, and carried Islam far west and east, everywhere. Had the habit of examining men with honorable skill, inquiring about their job and their contribution to the society. Encourage them, look them out. And he used to say, I see a man and I like his appearance. I like his looks. I like the way he's dressed, and I like the way he presents himself. And when I inquire about him and I was told that he does not have a job, I would lose interest and his worth decrease in my eyes. Also, it was narrated that Umar used to pass by those who are sitting in the mosque after Jum'ah prayer, saying, we are the one who rely on Allah. Umar point to them with his fabric stick. He actually have a stick, point to them and give him a hard time, saying, let no one would be ideal. Don't sit around being ideal. Don't sit around being lazy. Let no one be ideal, seeking income for his living. You cannot seek income for your living while you are staying where you at, saying that Allah will provide. And Umar continues saying, while he exactly know that the sky does not rain gold or silver. The sky does not rain gold or silver. It's your hard work. It's your intention. It's your energy, seeking a skill as seeking a profession. With the same guidance, the scholar commanded, as it was narrated by Muhammad ibn Thawr, that Sufyan al-Thawri, may God be pleased with him, had the habit of passing by as they were sitting in the holy mosque and asked, why are you sitting there? And the answer, we don't what to do. We don't know what to do. What we do. And he said, Sufyan al-Thawri, seek out return from Allah's generous bounties and don't be a burden over the Muslims. Let us all follow the guidance of our faith. Work hard, not looking down on any job or any profession, and always remember what was narrated by At-Tabarani, that the angel Jibreel said to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, what can be translated, know that the honor of the believer, he didn't say the honor of the Muslim, he said the honor of those who believe, who actually put their belief into action. The honor of the believer is to stand worshipping by night, worshipping Allah by night. And his nobility is to be independent and not to be in need of other people. May Allah make us among those, inshallah.